Hey you guys, how is it going? It is KlaireeBerry and I'm here today to talk to you just general overview, okay? We're going to look at basically the 1st through, I don't know, the 10th, 13th, 7th maybe, I don't know. We'll see how it goes and how long it takes us to get there. So we're going to start off with some overlying energy. I hope you guys are doing very well today. It's time to release negativity. Okay, we've got some full moon energy. Even though this is a week where we have a full moon. And I'm not too surprised. It's still in Scorpio. Okay, so Scorpio is kind of more of a yang sign especially for a water sign. So, you know, it may be more busy and active and intense than your average new moon. Okay, but we'll get to that in a moment. We're going to start off by talking about Mars moving into Scorpio. Okay, now this is going to it's going to really amplify the intensity of Scorpio season, especially up until this point. You know, this is one of our first big moves after the sun. So there can be some power flexes, okay? Some struggles, okay? There's a tendency to, you know, hold grudges and have sort of some vindictiveness there, but it's almost like you can use that. You can absolutely use that. Yeah, this is fiery. We might have some passion. We might really have some anger, and this is a really good time to use shadow work. Okay, if you're saying something about somebody else, the very first thing to do is to flip it around on yourself. So-and-so's being an asshat. I'm being an asshat. Okay? And just sit with it for a minute, see what comes up, and see if it can give you a different perspective. Honestly, a lot of times that's enough to say, well, you know, actually, I was kind of an asshat at this one time, or, you know, those couple of times, you know, and you'll start to be like, oh, I can extend forgiveness. And that's just the first step of shadow work. There's other ways to flip it. If you want to learn more about shadow work, definitely check out the shadow work playlist that I have here. Okay, so watch the anger, watch the intensity, watch the power moves, the boldness. We want to make sure that we're being fair, okay, to others, even if we're having, you know, and it's kind of, there's a theme this week to check your intentions. You know, the passion that we have, make sure that you're on the right side. Do the research. Really look into it. Make sure that you're being fair. Okay? We can't, like, it's like almost like two wrongs don't make a right energy. Okay? Watch out for, like, this ambition is so strong right now. And it's like we get obsessive, you know, like zoned in, can't see anything else. We need to stay balanced and not let these obsessions kind of, you know, pull us into a shadow side, you know, overdoing things too much and then, you know, creating issues later. Just watch that the boldness isn't too much. It isn't too much. Use that anger in a productive way, not in a way that's going to cause you more problems. Okay, that's not fair to anybody, not fair to you or others. Okay, so basically this week is like the waning peak of Mercury sextile natal Venus. So this does bring us some good energy. It brings us some fun energy. Okay, and maybe even, you know, some renewal here with our habits. Interestingly enough, that I think will come through with Capricorn a little later. But there's some good social energy, some kind of relaxed, just enjoyable energy that, like I said, is kind of peaking but also starting to wane during this week with Mercury sextile natal Venus. Okay, so on the 3rd, we have the end of Venus square natal Neptune. And this is kind of, I'm glad that this one's ending, because this was kind of this, insecurity, trying to, you know, how can I get better for other people to make a, you know, and like caring what other people think too much. And a little bit of like idealism, you know. It's like we're learning something about how we're moving forward in the future. Okay. Interesting. This might have to do with finances here with Venus square natal Neptune. That's, insecure about the finances. Now that that's over, kind of getting into a new cycle, this renewal, getting into a new cycle with our finances might be coming around for some people too. So that can be a good thing. The new moon we have in Scorpio on the 4th. This is also emotions. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's this weird mix, of really that boldness, but also having that intuition. And, it's maybe a good idea, since we are feeling so bold and have been feeling so bold, to kind of retreat if we're having the intense emotions like a new moon. Normally you would want to do some meditation, do some, just be still and relax, breathe, and, do the inner work as well. Stuff that might come up during the meditations that you can explore. If you want to know how to do inner healing work, just check out the playlist. I've got a whole program. Starts out with shadow work. Actually, really starts out with the holistic law of attraction. Then we talk about shadow work, which go together, and then you get into inner child healing. So it's the Aloha Switch program playlist here on my YouTube channel. So anyway, yeah, we might be feeling some strong emotions. Okay, we might be really feeling some intensity, but I think there is this energy too of like feeling good, feeling strong, feeling maybe good physically. And again, there's kind of this yawn energy where we're gonna be energized, even though we should take time to go within, kind of, again, have that balance. Okay. So we have on the 5th, the end. Oh, wait, let's talk about this new moon just a little bit more. I wanted to talk to kind of, these intense emotions could be happening because we've got a lot going on. It's like could be going through a big change, like either a big change or maybe a lot of big change. We're going through these doorways. And again, it's like this busyness where there's so many changes. We can't breathe. We feel like it's overwhelming sometimes. And, that can make us overreact. That can make us just defensive in general, aggressive, assertive. So be careful. It's like we want to be strong, and we sort of have a thing in the society of not thinking being emotional is strong. But really the true power, in this world is having power over yourself and your own emotions. If you do that, you can have everything and all the success. And again, we're so motivated, so much motivation. Just again, don't be too much. We don't need to be over assertive. And again, if you're doing the inner work, you won't get quite as overwhelmed in the midst of all of these big changes. It's really speaking to the real strength is the emotional quotient. It's not the IQ, it's the EQ. It's really important, or the emotional IQ, however you want to think of it. We don't like being vulnerable, but that's actually what helps us. That's actually what makes us stronger. Okay? So that is beautiful. So let's just move it on over. So the 5th is the end of Mercury in Libra, and we're going into, of course, Mercury in Scorpio. So again, this is just perfect, getting into the occult stuff, the deeper, the higher learning, I always say the Torah, the tarot, astrology, whatever. And it's really just that deeper and higher thinking. It's also a lot of analytics. Really being able to naturally kind of analyze and be intuitively, it's like that great mixture of intuition and analytics working together. And that can, again, you can uncover some truths. We can all uncover some truths. And what's more is we get kind of obsessive about stuff. So we could be obsessive, about these sort of deeper, darker, maybe taboo issues, maybe spiritual type of stuff, emotional things, deep psychological types of learnings, people still into all the horror shows at this time, like things like this, like deep thoughts, obsessive, like that's what it's all about. there. And then we also have Venus going into Capricorn. So this is actually, you know, it's a good grounding energy for us during this time. And it is a time where people, you know, become a little bit more careful with their, you know, with their love lives, more balanced. They're looking at the long-term growth. How is this going to change over time? The bigger picture, not just the passion that's right up in front of your face. Is this going to work for the long term? You do see a lot of breakups at this time because people are like getting a new picture, again, like a new bigger picture. And sometimes, you know, having to do with some of the healing that they're doing, some of the issues that are going to come up during this time. Again, with the power flexes, the ego, the intensity of emotions, and all of that stuff. It's going to bring out the truth and cause changes in our lives, okay? Maybe, again, these changes to our finances. And again, the long-term plans also apply to the finances as well, not just the love. But again, people are a little bit careful, a little bit cautious, want to make sure they're doing the right thing for the long term in love and money. There's kind of a propensity for overcoming that materialism. This materialism where we think, you know, again, we think we just have to have this to keep up with the Joneses, and oh, we need this. Oh, well, that ad came up, so now we have to have that. It's like maybe overcoming this pull, you know, and getting into these deeper and higher emotions and frequencies of, you know, and thoughts even, and truths. It really helps us to kind of, again, get back to the basics, overcome some of that materialism and what really matters, you know, in life. And it can also bring about some self-love and self-care into your routines a little bit more. Very much passionate about work, lots of ideas there too. So got a few more things here. Okay. So let's take a look at this. We have on the 7th, the end of Sun square natal Saturn. Now, this is good that this one's ending. For crypto, you know, it's going to be less fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That's kind of what this transit was bringing. Sun square natal Saturn. You know, it's blockages on what we're trying to do, and that is good to be ending. The blockages are going to be, you know, a little bit lessening. And also, right after that, on the 13th, we have the end of Sun opposite natal Uranus. So a lot of this unexpected upheaval, a lot of this, you know, even just unexpected feelings, you know, and emotions coming up, this kind of restless energy. Again, part of this, oh, you know, nothing's good enough. You know, this is just allowing you to be yourself, take a deep breath, have some time, you know, to have this kind of emotional renewal. After all this crazy stuff, maybe we heard some crazy news, just unexpected things, like almost like, you know, when you wake up from a dream and you're like, kind of like having to just process what happened and how it made you feel. That's the same energy. Like after all this stuff that happened, after the news, we're processing and doing some emotional, you know, rejuvenation, healing. Again, that self-care, put that into the routines. Make it part of your daily life, not just every once in a while. Let's get better about loving ourselves. And that goes, I always say, you know, that self-care is not just the outer, the physical, the taking the baths. It is doing your healing work. And during Scorpio season, especially when we get these stelliums going, when we get this new moon going, when we have all this intensity, whenever it hits you, you know, that's when it's really important to be like, dang, I wish I did my healing work, you know, when these emotions start to come up. You know, and really that's why we meditate. That's why we do things, so we can prepare ourselves, mind, body, and, you know, soul, so that we can better deal with this stuff as it happens, not have these emotional outbursts, freakouts, or, you know, bad reactions to things. Okay, so a couple of good aspects ending there. Skipped over the 10th. We've also got some maybe some issues coming up. Good time to go within. Again, emotional. Like if you've got issues right now, it's kind of like, it's not necessarily what's happening to you, it's how you're dealing with it. And that's sort of the energy here. Whatever it is, we can deal with it. You'll get through it. You know, this too shall pass. and we kind of come to this more stable point where, again, we can start to process things a little bit more, and start to kind of use what we're learning emotionally to help us get what we want in our goals. Okay? Going within. You might be resetting intention. This is a lot, Mercury conjunct natal Saturn. The blockages have been happening. The things that have been happening, the limits, the restrictions, the upheavals, all of it is fine-tuning us, Use the negative things in your life. Figure out what it means. The way we do that, is by getting into these deeper occult things. We go to the astrology. We go to the tarot. They help us. They can help us with our emotions. We use the shadow work. Again, check the playlist. Thanks for being here. Stay tuned for more videos. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.